Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, early times, Kentucky straight whiskey, aged 3 years in used barrels, or as they say, used cooperage. 80 proof, introduced in 1860. All right, there are quite a few early times variants that you may see around. You just won't see them on their website. It's one of these brands that there's a whole bunch about it, but it's like a hidden brand, you understand? Like a lot of the Pabst beers in Pabst Brewing Company's world. The beers exist, but not online. Now, if you write an email to Pabst, I did that last year, year before. What is your current beer lineup? And they asked me, do you work for a television or radio station or a newspaper? I said, no, I was just curious. I just drink beer as a hobby, and I was curious to what you had. Oh, they sent me this huge PDF file with pages and pages of beers. And the same thing with Heaven Hill and Brown-Forman. You get on their website, here's what we have. Here's our products. But what they ought to say is, here's the product lineup, except for the hundreds of other ones that we didn't bother to list for whatever bizarre reason. Bill McIntosh says, morning, Ronald. Good morning, Bill. Look, I'm having, just like Lance DeLush up there in Akron, Lance Bell, a lot of problems we're having with the Hangouts, as you know. And one problem is we're not able to send direct invites to most people. I sent one to Drunken One just now. I know he does late night Hangouts and whatnot, and I also did it just as a test. So see if it would go through, and I assume it did. I tried to put your name, wouldn't come up. Strange, isn't it? But are you planning to join us Wednesday night for the Seagram 7 examination? Because if you are, we'll figure out a way to invite you. I can't give you a link on Facebook, but I could just put a link in Google Hangouts, right, to your name some kind of way. And then we have those group, we have the group Hangouts, and I can post it there. So I think we can solve the problem. It's sad that it is a problem, because up until April 2017, we just never had problems. John and Eli says, good morning, Ron. My prediction is that the Evan Williams wins easily. Yes, I do believe it will, because it's going to have a oakier taste, a more pronounced flavor. The early times, it's fine. It's $8.99. Okay, so $9. $8.99 a bottle, and it's a very good standard product, but not anything too, what'd you say, fabulous. On the other hand, nothing bad. No off flavors, aromas, or any disgusting. And honestly, I have not run across that with the liquor. I've run across some horrendous wines, like the Gibson Vineyards Marsala, or was it the Madeira? I believe it was Marsala. It was so bad, I poured the whole thing down the drain after a few sips. It was almost like it was rancid. And I brought it back. I should have just capped it and brought it back to Dorvanax and said, this stuff's bad. They'd have given me a refund or an exchange, but I was so irritated, I just dumped it. And but the guy told me, well, most people cook with that. I wouldn't cook with that. I don't care what I was cooking. Okay, good. I have enough left to do a taste challenge against the last bourbon in my cabinet for the next few years, I'm sure, which is the Barton, very old Barton, 4-year age. So, okay, the appearance, darker. Evan Williams is a shade darker. They're both amber, but Evan Williams is a shade darker. No shock there. John Anile says, I didn't have an issue last time I used my computer. Right now, using the computer was a help. And I had to click on the link in Google Hangouts to join. Right. Because I couldn't get it. I couldn't send it to you directly. You know, in the past, I would just get on there and start sending invites and everybody's name would pop up. I could even do it where I could send an invite to all my friends, acquaintances, and connections on Google Plus, which is hundreds of people. I could do that if I wanted to see. Nothing now. There's nothing. It's hit or miss. A few names might pop up. It's very much in disarray. And we used to feed it through Mozilla Firefox, which was always fantastic. Like, it worked to perfection. But then Mozilla said there was a plugins issue and they weren't dealing with it, so they just abandoned Google Hangouts completely. You cannot use Mozilla Firefox according to what they're telling me. You know, but Mozilla has their own problems, right? Like, you try to get on Facebook through Mozilla Firefox and it gets hung up all the time and it goes slow. Now, anything else, it's fast, just quick as anything. But Facebook, it just cranks. It's like somebody's turning it with their hand. That is not just me. I checked some forums and there's thousands of people complaining about that. What is the problem? And then what I'm using right now, Microsoft Edge / Internet Explorer, it has terrible flaws. Like, I'll give you an example. You can't mute a tab. Now, you would think a company like Microsoft, which is supposed to be so advanced, you know, they're so up to date, modern, but they haven't figured out how to have a feature on their new Microsoft Edge to mute a tab. So people don't use it. They want to get on, like, say, for instance, like I do, get on beer reviews and listen to those while I'm checking my Facebook without that dinging going on. You know, you can mute the tab and you won't have that dinging, those alert dings. Oh, no, you can't do that. It's insane, you know. I'm a fan of Early Times, but Early Times might have this. Jaybird Jenkins says, you mean, but Evan Williams might have this. I think that's what you mean. Okay, so now, all right, tomorrow, I don't think I'll be able to do a taste challenge tomorrow. There's too much going on. It's just not going to be practical. So I don't think I'll be drinking any alcohol tomorrow, you know, any liquor, nothing, no, you know, the little tasting I do. Therefore, I think I will have to double up. Double up today, later today. And what that means is that we'll start doing the blended whiskey taste challenges, because remember, I did the Seagram 7 Crown, which is 75 to 20. That's a 75 to 25 ratio blend. And I have all these blended whiskeys in the cabinet that have been opened. So I'll start going through that round robin, right? That tournament. Then once we go through there, I believe we'll put that on the side for a little bit, and then we'll do the Canadian blended. See, but we'll see. But I got a lot of them I got to rotate through, as well as review. I remember I came up with that plan. I'll do once a month, more or less, a review of the liquor brands, and then I'll start rotating them through the taste challenges. That way you learn, because if you do that, then you'll get used to the flavors. Okay, let's go. Well, it's a nice sweet aroma, caramel wood. You know what I say? A taste commonly, an aroma commonly associated with whiskey, as the U.S. government would describe it. But you know, it's just a standard, nice aroma. And then they were drinking Elijah Craig Thursday night when I went to the Knights of Columbus meeting. They were drinking Elijah Craig, 8-year age, and they were telling me. And I said, "Well, is that a good one?" "Oh yeah, that's a Heaven Hill brand too." "Oh yeah, you ought to try it." You know. but I had already done a whiskey challenge that morning. So I said, nah, I'll just pass. But I smelled it. You know, I took the cork out, the cap. It smelled good, you know, like, you know, kind of strong bourbon, you know, 94 proof. So I could have just poured some and taken it home. It's fine. You know, but if I work bingo next Friday and they have some, I'll take it home and I'll do a little review. Well, I'm sure it'll be very good. I think Elijah Craig gets good scores, I do believe. I did that with the Crown Royal, but I didn't post a video. I was too tired and the video was too ragged. People were going to say, you're drunk, you know. But it was really just me being tired. I had been up since 2:30 that morning, and then I worked all day at work, and then I went to bingo and I was tired. Reese 187 says, hi, John. I bought a bottle of 1792 yesterday. It was marked down at only $23.99 for a 750 milliliter bottle. Yeah, it's about $26.99 here for that. Now the aroma here. Okay, let's get into this. It seems more subdued, which okay. Little candy note, little dried flowers. Now this one's a lot stronger and bolder, right? So I think this has got to be the Evan Williams, and that must be the early times, but I think. Oh, now Winn-Dixie. They had their grand opening Thursday, and I went over there. I think if I stood up, I might be able to see their sign, the Winn-Dixie sign, you know, the red sign. But they expanded their liquor selection to like triplicate of what they used to have, and it used to be pretty big. But I was talking to some other guy. He said, yeah, all they're going to do is they're going to shoplift the heck out of that place. People are considering the demographics, the population of this town, that could be, to me, it was like a mystery of why they would even do that. You know, they're making their liquor collection as though this is Uptown New Orleans or Old Metairie. But you have a population here that's geared more toward Wild Irish Rose and T.W. Samuel's whiskey, you know, like, or early times, $8.99, that kind of thing. So I don't understand why they bringing in all this intricate, extremely expensive and varied liquor and wine. Even beer, they're trying to craft it up a little bit more. I don't understand that. To me, it seems like it's not going to pay. It's not going to pan out for them. But it doesn't matter. It's not my law. I don't work for Winn-Dixie. It's their business. $60. Oh, well, I might be confused about. Oh, you're talking about the Barton 1792. Oh, sorry. You know, I'm absent-minded. You know that. Winn-Dixie in my area has a great selection of wine, but no liquor, unfortunately. Yeah, grocery stores in Louisiana can sell liquor just like box of cereal. They don't have to sell it behind the counter either. It's just right on the shelf. Yeah, like a bag of egg noodles. Okay, so I already think this is Evan Williams, but I didn't even taste it. Well, let's go. Let's do this as dawn breaks. There is a place where I can go. Okay, yeah, Barton. I went to that distillery and I tried the 17. Isn't that on my video? I tried the very old Barton and the 1792. Right, the lady let us try both of those. And then the bourbon cream and then the pecan chocolate candies. Oh yeah, that was dynamite, you know, dynamite bourbon. Oh, it's oh so woody. And vanilla and some minty menthol type thing with the aftertaste and the backwash and the exhalation. It's got to be Evan Williams. Well, you know what? $14.99, $12.99. Yeah, $12.99 for Evan Williams. $13.99, whatever. You know, it varies. But for all of that elaborate flavor, shoot, that must be the best bourbon value in America, right? Evan Williams must literally be the best bourbon value in America. And I don't know why my daughter and them were saying they didn't like it. I can't believe it. Seems doesn't make sense. Doesn't add up. But you know, people have varied tastes. She doesn't like celery, and I love celery. You know, so that's just a taste. Yes, you tried it in your video and said it was excellent. Yeah, I thought that's what she was letting us drink. The 1792 and the very old Barton. Well, I like the very old Barton as well, and that was a lot cheaper. But and that's extremely popular in Kentucky, and basically unheard of everywhere else. Oh, and one more thing. The girl said, well, the woman, but you know, everybody under 40, I call them a girl. You know, I'm kind of a throwback of the past. I say stewardess, steward and stewardess, actor and actress. My politically correct facility, my politically correct faculty does not operate. Okay, but she said they don't even know why they called the place Barton. It was not purchased by a Barton. It was not established by a Barton, and is not currently owned by a Barton. So the company never could figure out why it was renamed Barton Distillery. So that it's one of the, and they didn't try to come up with some folksy story about it. They just said they don't know. They know why they came up with McAfee's Old Number 8, because they wanted it to have some kind of like old distillery name cachet to it. Not that this guy McAfee had any relation whatsoever to the Old Number 8. It just to benchmark, you know, benchmark bourbon, just sounded good. Same thing with all these names, Elijah Craig, Evan Williams. And what's that other one I see all the time? I haven't tried it. It's got that old name. Okay, so this one's sweet. It's got some wood. It's got some caramel, all the things the other one has, but it's much less pronounced. Well, after all, it's a weaker bourbon. Oh, Kentucky whiskey. 80 proof as opposed to 86. Not a big difference, but a difference. And it's aged in used barrels. That's first run barrels. This has got to be early times, and I'm going to call it without. And if I get this wrong, I'm going to have no confidence whatsoever for future taste challenges. But I'm going to say this has got to be early times. Whew. Dodged the bullet. Yeah, well, like John and Neely said, this one was too easy. It was just too obvious how it was going to pan out. So what's the better value? Well, now that's not so easy to say, because some people just do not like bourbon. They don't like that woodiness, that kind of what we would call harsh or bold flavor. And they don't like it. They don't have to like it. You don't have to like bourbon. This is not a requirement for a life worth living. So some people they like whiskey now, but they would prefer this because it's much milder and more mellow. Now I prefer the bourbon because I like strong, bold flavors. You know, not all the time, but I do prefer that. I know people that drink a lot of whiskey, a lot more than me. and they tell me, like David Gatt, he tells me, well, he said, I prefer the blended whiskeys, the Canadian blended whiskeys. He said they just appeal to him more, and he'll drink those 10 days a week, you know. But the bourbons, no, he doesn't go for that too much. Is the taste good mixed with water and ice? Yes, I do believe. And the girl at the tour was talking about how when you add water, it'll actually bring out flavors. I'm not adding water today, but it will. It does seem to expand it some kind of way. Oh, I felt terrible because I put a bottle. I noticed that the the Budweiser signature, the Budweiser amber lager, you know, the 1933 Repeal Reserve. It was a little warm, you know, because they had just brought them out. They hadn't really cooled them down too long. So I said, I'm going to put one more in the fridge, in the freezer. And you know how many people have done this and made this mistake. So then last night when I was going to lay down, I got off to hang out with Lance DeLush, and I was going lie down and watch the baseball game, which the Astros won, by the way. And then watch how Tulane was doing. And they got killed, by the way. No shock there, 56-26. That was sort of like more easy to predict than this taste challenge. But I said, why is there only 3 of these beers left in the fridge? I knew I had a 6-pack and I drank 2. So that would mean I should have 4 left. See what I mean? It didn't click. Now this morning, I said the same thing. Hey, there's only 3 left. I know I didn't drink 3 last night. Oh, I said the freezer. I hate to see what I'm going to see when I open that freezer. Yeah, the ice expanded and it unscrewed the cap. Just the ice expanding unscrewed the cap. And it overflowed, and then there was a bunch of frozen beer, and it was orange on the surface of the freezer. I said, look at this here. So I took the ice bucket out, which was empty of ice, and I put the beer in the ice and then put it in the refrigerator to slowly melt away, which probably never happened. And then I had to get a hot water on a dish towel, dishcloth, and then wipe it all out. Yeah, I was only supposed to leave it in the freezer for 15 minutes, and I forgot and left it in there overnight. And when I woke up this morning at 3:35, and then after I brushed my teeth and washed my face, I said, oh my goodness. He said, yeah, that Evan Williams has significantly more boldness. A lot of people mix these products, and in that case, I guess it wouldn't matter. No, it wouldn't matter. You see, so if you're going to make mixed drinks, then you just go with the cheapest stuff. I mean, go with early times. I mean, why not? This has got to be true, because you go to every bar room in America, restaurant, bar and lounge, you know, bar and grill. What? They got mixed drinks. People are drinking mixed drinks all evening, and you know, they seem to be having a good time. I don't see any complaining. I went there to Yale College Inn and got said, make me because they said that Brett Phillips over there was the best. He could make the best old fashioned in the city of New Orleans. So I said, well, I'll get an old fashioned. You know, and it was great. What do you know what whiskey they're using for an old fashioned? They're using something like T.W. Samuels, something they paid $7.99 a bottle for or less, because they get it wholesale, probably from that wholesale liquor outlet on Washington Avenue in New Orleans. They're not using Barton 1792. I'm going to assure you of that. And I saw what vodka they were using. You know what vodka they use? Crown Rust vodka. Oh my goodness, that's the cheapest vodka you can buy. Crown Rust. And the people that drink these mixed drinks all night and they don't complain. So like you're saying, when you're doing mixed drinks, you almost want something that's muted so it doesn't interfere with your mix, you know, and you just want the alcohol base anyway. But for a freestanding sampling, for a freestanding sipping, you know, deep speculative adventures like we're doing and drinking on it and thinking on it, that's where the price matters, right? Jaybird says you made a beer sickle. Yeah, I know, and I didn't want one. John, oh, Bill McIntosh says Old Crow. Yeah, that's a perfect example. Old Crow, a mixable item. But you said you thought it was just too bland to buy for drinking purposes. You know, unadulterated drinking purposes. I would disagree. You know, I think it has a little more character than you found. But yeah, that's what Old Crow is bought for. Yeah, we know, mixed drink. Now the Old Crow Reserve, 6-year age, higher proof. Okay, but then try to find it. I've never seen it. Cheaper than Aristocrat. Well, we don't get that around here. So Crown Rus would be our Aristocrat vodka, okay? We get McCormick vodka, which is very cheap. What else do we? The cheap ones here is Crown Rus, McCormick, Fleischmann's vodka, Skol, S-K-O-L, right? Those are the Taka. Taka is another. Which Taka is actually a little higher. It's like those are the very bottom. And then Taka is like maybe $1 more. It's sort of like this early times. It might be $1 more. And then in brandy, we get the Hartley. That's always the cheapest brandy. In this area, Hartley, that's like, oh, man. But literally, people must have been complaining about Hartley VS because that was just monstrously bad. You know, that was getting into your Minhas City Brewing type beers. Now they only sell the Hartley, from what I can tell around here, the Hartley VSOP, which is actually not bad. I didn't say it was good. I said it wasn't bad. It's odd. You ever want to drink the oddest brandy ever? Drink Hartley. You just shake your head every sip and you say, what is this? I mean, what is this supposed to be? It's sort of like an alternate universe type thing. But they sell the fool out of it. They always have those sales, $6.99 a bottle. People buy it. You say, well, those are dedicated alcoholics, probably. Yeah, that's probably true. But for the town drunks, Hartley is a real winner, you know. I knew a guy, I used to work with him. He died, 49 years old, drinking himself to death. It was a tragedy. I mean, like a real tragedy. It's a terrible, horrible story. Horrible. But he was sort of discriminating in what he would destroy himself with. He would only drink Crown Royal, you know, and that's a very overpriced item. He wasn't gonna lower himself to drinking the bottom shelf whiskey but you know, I mean, the whole point of that story is the whole thing was just a nightmarish situation. Terrible, just horrible, you know. The Bon Court is the same. I tried it and didn't know what to make of it. Oh, Bon Court brandy. I've heard of that. Oh my word. You start getting these low-level brandies. You just can't believe it. They're just they're strange. How did he die? Ari said, oh, well, I mean, he drank so much that he was basically drinking an entire bottle of Crown Royal every day. And all his insides just shut down, you know, liver, kidneys, no bodily function. And I saw him in that casket. I said, look at this. Well, I saw his body in the casket. He wasn't there. His soul and spirit were departed, hopefully to where it needed to be, right? Good natured guy though, so Just terrible. I mean, you just can't believe it. Have you done, and I think that shocked so many people at work. It made everybody take a step back to not drink too much. Have you done a Charles Shaw wine hangout? I don't know what that is. Dancing Dog 60 asked me that. $3 Chuck. I'm totally unfamiliar with Charles Shaw wine, so no. I don't know about it. Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I got to check Evan Williams. Okay, I have to check Proof 66 to see if I wrote a written review. Oh, Trader Joe's wine. Oh my goodness. Don't get me started on that. If I have not done an Early Times written review, I'll pour a little bit more, and I mean, let's focus on the word little. And it won't be difficult. It's very simple. It's as simple. You could write a review in 1 minute. Then I'll go on Proof 66, write a written review. I don't think that I've done one. And then I'll go walking. I'll have to bundle up a little bit. It's windy and cold. Like I said, we don't have fall in Louisiana. We have summer and winter. That's it. That's the 2 seasons we have in southeastern Louisiana, winter and summer. That's it. It was 90 degrees last week. Now it's 51 today, right now. Be high in the 50s. Oh, and it feels very cold in Louisiana. Very cold. It chills you to the bone. It's so damp. It doesn't have to be cold. It can be 58. And if it's damp and cloudy, it'll feel 38, believe me, or worse. It's terrible. I went to Arizona. I walked around in the snow with a short sleeve shirt. No undershirt, short sleeves, making snowballs. Didn't feel cold. Did not feel cold. Had shorts on. Did not feel cold. Snowstorm. Come over here. It's much warmer on the thermometer, but it feels much colder. I knew a guy from Madrid. He was an exchange student from Madrid. He was in my history, geography or history class, can't remember. And I know it gets colder in Spain on the Meseta, you know. In Spain, but he said he couldn't take it. He couldn't wait to get back to Spain. He says, "It's too cold here. It's too cold. Chill my bones. I can't take it." His last name was Di Toledo. He said, "I can't take it. It's too cold." I said, "It's the dampness." What's his name? Jose. I said, "It's the dampness. You can't handle it." Okay, let's say it's like here in New England. The moisture is what gets you. Yeah, New England's in that humid continental climate, right? Moisture. The Louisiana humidity can really chill you to the bone, says John and Neely. Oh, it's terrible. How many beers you usually drink in a day? Let's not go by the day, because on the days I work, I don't drink but 2 beers after work. So we got to go by the week. It averages 22 to 24 beers per week. We're talking about 12-ounce servings. More like 22. Occasionally it'll jump to 24, and that's it. Now you might say, "Oh, but I bet if you go to a wedding, you just cut loose and drink 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 at a wedding." No, that's not true. I'll drink 2 beers, sip on a little wine, and then I'll just drink water and drink coffee. That is what I'll do at the reception. I'm not one of these heavy drinker people. I don't like doing it. I'm sorry. People ask me that, like, what do you do about hangovers? I said, I don't do anything about them because I don't get them. I don't drink enough I just don't. I don't get that. Dancing Dog said, we barely get autumn now. I don't know what state you're in. I'll keep it to 2 myself because I just turned 57. Yeah, right. I'm 49. You know, I'm just not into heavy drinking. I never cared about it. You know, I no longer pound beers. I never did, honestly. I just drank them good. I think I grew up in Louisiana, which is sort of a heavy drinking state. It's very liquor oriented. beer, and it's a Catholic state, which is a little more liberal with beer and wine and alcohol. It's very ultra conservative when it comes to other social, cultural issues. I mean, if Louisiana controlled her own law, then it would be probably Louisiana would probably be more like Franco, Spain under Franco, literally. I think Louisiana would resemble Spain's legal system under Francisco Franco. Okay. More than it would the United States. I'm in Boston, trust me, we love our liquor and taverns. Okay, well, you see, I believe that. They have an Irish heritage there. But their social construction is much different than Louisiana, you know, with the Yankee culture and all that. It's very different. It's like two different countries, and they don't like each other too much. Although I've been to Boston, and I've been to Red Sox games, so, you know, I'm kind of amenable. I can like fit in, even though it might be in my head rolling my eyes at things, you know. My dad drank every night after work. I don't have his stomach. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, very much Catholic. Yeah, that's a part of it, the Catholic thing. But Massachusetts as a whole, right? They had that Congregationalist Protestant. You know what I mean? Unitarian outlook. And that whole New England Yankee outlook, which was so at odds with Louisiana. And, you know, we know the whole story about 1861 and blah, 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 you know, blah, blah, blah. All right, but anyway, that's for another video. All right, so, all right, this is it. Enough jibber jabber. I got to go walk in and get this thing going. I already had the grits with the hog's head cheese. That was the breakfast. Got the whiskey as the complimentary item. And I'm thinking about an hour. Well, let's see. I think this morning, yeah, we're gonna do another taste challenge. So get ready, people. Nothing tomorrow, except maybe I'll post a video. I'll record stuff days ahead, you know, but nothing tomorrow. So all right, we'll see. It's coming soon. Stay tuned. Stay tuned, people.